Welcome back to the Protodead podcast, where anything goes, but with a strong focus on music, movies, books, and video games, basically any form of media that we love to be entertained by. Please forgive any background noise that you may hear from our microphones, because we're busy people, and we do busy shit, and we got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm Protodead, your host, and today I've got SunDevilDave joining me yet again, right before Halloween. Halloween's coming up on the 31st, I think. It happens this year. It could be different any other year, but this year's going to be on the 31st, so maybe we're going to talk a little bit about some Halloween stuff, Halloween-related stuff, and SunDevilDave, take it away.
What's up, man? How you been?
I've been okay, been pretty good. So, trying to keep from being stressed out about, life, job, and everything else. But
yeah. Hey, FYI, Halloween is always on the 31st.
Oh, well, I'll put that down on my calendar.
It should already be there.
Yeah, if you even have a calendar, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I remember like when Halloween was a big deal when I was younger, and even like in high school and college days and stuff. It was always fun when it fell on the weekend, but when it fell like on a Wednesday or a Tuesday or something, you'd have to do all the kind of the celebrating either the weekend before or the weekend after or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Same deal. Yeah, it's always on the same day, so it's just kind of a crapshoot on what day it's going to be.
Yep, not like Easter. Easter's different.
Yep. That's that is different. There's I don't know. Holidays just as you get older to me are just like, whatever. It's just kind of another day.
Just like birthdays.
Oh, birthdays. I guess I don't know. The way that I was brought up, birthdays were just never a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have a cake or something, but it wasn't like have a big party and have all your friends. No, we never did shit like that ever. So.
Yeah. That's sometimes that concept I think is romanticized in American movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think the average American family, you did something just like local, the small. Yeah. Like the major players in the immediate family, everybody celebrated, but
right.
It's kind of like one of those fabrications, like where as soon as you hit 18, you move out, and somehow you land a job and you pay for all your own shit or whatever. It's like it's a crackpot idea. That's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be done, but yeah, you need a little bit of help.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think a lot of times it's kind of like the celebrating birthdays and stuff. I think we're meant to believe that it's standard that you have all your buddies come over and everybody gives you presents and shit like that. And it's like that's not feasible for the majority of everybody.
Obscure. That whole concept is just so obscure to me. And it's not that like when I was a kid, I didn't go to other kids' birthday parties and stuff too. I sure as shit did that. But
yeah,
as far as like me having one now, like. My grandparents lived kind of close, so they'd come over and have cake and that kind of stuff. But other than that, man, that was it.
Yeah, you didn't have like a huge bonfire and like 5 or 6 fucking kegs and.
Well, maybe, yeah, actually, yes. Yes.
Okay, the truth comes out.
Or maybe when I was 17 or 18, and it wasn't like a big party or anything. It was just, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 buddies. We got a keg and or cases of beer or whatever and just partied in the desert for a night. Yeah.
Turn the boombox on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was fun.
Scared the shit out of all the Gila monsters running around.
Yeah, I think with birthdays, I think Adam Carolla was it who said it. He said something about the fact that having a birthday is really not an achievement. You're really celebrated over it. It's just like, okay, well, you lived another year. I think he proposed an achievement day when you actually did something.
Yeah.
It's kind of harsh, but I mean for little kids, birthdays are cool. But
I think for younger kids that shit's important, I think. It makes them feel special. It reminds them that they're special, that they're important.
And it's it was something to look forward to. Oh, my birthday is coming up, that type of deal.
Yeah. And then it's an opportunity for your parents to finally get you that thing that you've been wanting, even though maybe you don't really deserve it and they really don't have the money for it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got a cousin who's actually got a birthday on Halloween.
Perfect.
So that's always If anything, it's always easy to remember his birthday.
Yeah, so either that person really embraces, the Halloween trope and everything, or absolutely fucking hates it. There's going to be no in between.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So which one is it?
I think he likes it.
I
think he digs Halloween. Yeah. Yeah.
Does he sleep in a coffin and paint his nails black?
No, he's a metalhead, but no, he doesn't sleep in a coffin.
Oh. He's a metalhead. That explains it.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, man, not a whole lot going on around here these days. Just, I think we were going to talk about like horror movies or some shit, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you got any you want to talk about, I'm definitely game.
Yeah, like what was when you were a kid, like what was the first movie that just like scared the living piss out of you?
Oh, fuck, man. When I was young, I watched a lot of horror movies. Yeah. And, like Jason didn't do it for me, or I guess Friday the 13th.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
That didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But, iconic.
Halloween, too.
Yeah.
Halloween used to scare the shit out of me. Just that mask.
Yeah, that mask is definitely creepy. The guys that did Friday the 13th absolutely ripped off Halloween. Like, I mean, it's painfully obvious, but which one?
I've never looked at it. Explain to me what your thought process is on that.
My thought process is I watched like a behind the scenes thing on Friday the 13th and creating Jason, the silent stalking killer that murders young co-eds and people who smoke marijuana behind the adult's back and have sex.
Yeah.
Those people that made that movie, they said, okay, we're making a horror movie. And somebody was like, that Halloween movie came out recently. It was real successful. And then somebody else was like, yeah, so the plan is to totally rip that shit off. And everybody making the production was like, that's a good idea. So we're going to do that. Yeah.
I mean, I always thought that they were similar, but I didn't like equate one as being a ripoff of the other one. But I mean,
I personally, from a certain point of view, I think I can forgive. Even like growing up with it, maybe it's just like that's just how it is. I mean, is one person that kills somebody else all that really different? I mean, is Jeffrey Dahmer really that much different than John Wayne Gacy or fucking Ed Gein or Kemper or any of these other like killers? Are they really that different? Can you really say one of them copied off the other?
These guys just didn't die too. I mean, that was the deal. It's just like they were just beyond.
They were a juggernaut.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then so in my mind it was like they're just two different flavors of fruit. They're both fruit,
Mm-hmm. Sure. Have you seen Silent Rage?
Yeah, Silent Rage. That's Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, but it's the same concept. It's the same Jason and Michael concept.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Holy shit, I didn't think about that. That movie's fucking brilliant. I actually watched it recently.
Really, dude? I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I had a conversation about it with a guy at a job that I was at. We were talking about Chuck Norris, and he's like, "Do you remember that movie that he was in? With the killer, and it was kind of like a Halloween type movie." I'm like, "Yeah, we could remember the name." So we looked it up, and dude, I was like 10 the last time I saw it.
Yeah, man. I bought it on Blu-ray and watched it not too long ago. That movie is really, really good. So basically,
watch it again.
Huh?
I definitely need to watch it again.
Oh yeah, you want me to borrow it to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll bring it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Silent Rage is Chuck Norris plays the stereotypical ranger in Texas, right? He's the lawman, like he is in 99% of all the shit that he's in. And it just so happens that in this story, there's a guy who's becoming a complete fucking psychopath. He's going to have a mental break, and he's been going to therapy. And as part of the treatment, I think some of the clinical guys that associate with this psychiatrist dude, they convince him to prescribe the patient guy with an experimental medication, and through this medication he ends up going bonkers crazy, but then he also doesn't end up dying or something like that. I don't. I think I got something wrong in there somewhere, but it doesn't matter. He comes back to life after he's been shot to death, and he just proceeds to kill the fuck out of people through the whole movie.
Yeah. How did he die in the end? Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert! Yeah, for all those people, for the 15 people that'll listen to this podcast, how he died at the end was Chuck Norris absolutely fucking does a flying slow-mo karate kick.
Awesome.
Into his
How
chest.
else would he die?
Yeah, there absolutely is no other way. But Chuck Norris is going to do a fucking flying karate axe kick, whatever, and the dude like just goes tumbling down an old well.
Oh wow!
Like in the middle of nowhere, he falls down an old well and splashes into the rocks in the water or whatever.
Is he dead or is he not dead?
And then at the end he pops up like the tar monster from Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I definitely need to watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, man. The soundtrack and that the like the synth, the horror synth music is like I think if I'm not mistaken, it's just like some John Carpenter horror music that he made. So John Carpenter was the guy who did, I'm pretty sure he did Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
And here lately, John Carpenter has been doing a fuck ton of like retro 80s horror synth, like keyboard music.
Oh, wow.
Like, he's been producing and selling it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Were you into like the original like horror movies like The Wolfman and The Creatures from the Black Lagoon? Did you ever watch any of those?
Not too many of them, but I need to go back and watch them for sure because they're classics, and I'm trying to like, cover all my bases when I talk about movies. Because sometimes there's people that's like, you've never seen 2001: A Space Odyssey? Holy shit! And I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. It's a fucking travesty. I need to get to it.
I've never seen The Godfather.
Yeah, damn. Same here. I need to watch it.
Yeah, I tell that to people. Like, oh, bullshit. I'm like, nah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, nope. I mean, you can't check it all.
No.
There's just too much shit.
So, like those movies, like from like the 60s, like the kind of like the black and white, horror movies. Those were cool. They weren't like bloody and gory. It was more suspenseful, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like more slow motion, more atmospheric.
Yeah,
or not slow motion, but just like the movies took time to develop and.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, I watched those. See what some of those other ones like from the 80s were like all the zombie ones, the Night of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead and all those were badass. I like those.
Yeah. I liked both of the Night of the Living Dead movies. So it was like the first black and white one, and then the remake that came out.
Yeah. And
then of course Return of the Living Dead was kind of like a satire on.
Yeah,
or whatever.
But
or like,
great in its own right.
Oh man, so good. I mean, I watched that movie religiously over and over and over again.
Yeah, good soundtrack too.
Yeah, great soundtrack. Fuck, man. I even ripped some of that music off and used it in some of my YouTube videos when I was uploading video game footage and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of some like the ones that you remember. Did you watch the Hellraisers? All those?
I think I watched all of them at one point, but I went back recently and watched the first one again. And the first one, I don't know, man. There's something about it that just wasn't quite like grabbing me by the gooch or whatever. But
yeah,
I mean, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I watched them. They never like scared. Maybe I was older by then too.
Yeah.
And I can't really remember the last movie that like really scared me.
Yeah, I mean, once you reach a certain age or maturity or shit, it's like the stuff that actually scares you is like when you have a guest over and they just said, "Oh fuck, I just dropped my jelly toast on your carpet."
Yeah.
Or like your mother calls and she's like, "Hey, your cousin needs a place to stay for a little while."
Yeah, that's far scarier for sure.
Yeah, that's the true scary shit.
I
you
thought
know.
Silence of the Lambs maybe was one of the last of the movies that was just like took me aback, I guess, a little bit. And
Yeah.
Seven was like that too.
Yeah, Seven was great, obviously.
I saw it in the theater. That's the only time I ever saw it. It was. I thought it was really good.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh. It was well put together, well orchestrated story. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have. That would have been what, late '90s or mid '90s.
I think mid 90s, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. It's a genre that I like. I mean, I would, if I'm scrolling through channels or whatnot, and I come across horror movies, it's like, yeah. That's definitely in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a lot of horror movies. I watch a lot of them. But
Did you go ahead?
no, you go ahead.
Did you ever get into like the Godzilla movies?
I watched a few of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the original ones, not the ones from like the 2000s.
Not starring Matthew Broderick.
No, I don't even consider those Godzilla movies.
Oh shit. I think I might have watched a couple of them with my dad.
Yeah. My mom used to like to watch. I loved it for whatever reason, man. I don't know if it's just the silliness of watching the Japanese speaking, in dubbed over English and stuff, man. But it's just, I don't know. I find a lot of value in those movies. They're just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I should go back and check a few of those ones out. I mean, so Godzilla fought Ghidra. Ghidra was like the Hydra monster, right?
Right. Yep.
And then Mothra was
Mothra was a big moth.
It was a big moth. And then there was like the mecha versions of both of those.
Yeah. My favorite's Godzilla versus Megalon.
Which one?
Megalon was like a beetle, maybe. But just very cool. Just kind of cutting edge for back then. The little models and shit, and
knocking down buildings.
Yeah, yeah. You think about how far we've come in technology.
Yeah.
Where before it was a dude in a suit with fucking scale buildings, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
But the newer ones like the King Kongs and the Godzillas and stuff, I've seen them. It's just, I don't know. I guess the CGI is just, it's good, but it's just, I don't know. It just seems kind of lazy.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into CGI and doing computer shit.
Without a doubt.
There's a lot of artistry that goes into it, but most of the people that analyze this sort of stuff and pay attention to it, there's just something about the weightlessness that it has on screen.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have like any CGI, even if it holds up well over time, which most of it doesn't hold up well. You go back and watch movies from the 2000s that were CGI heavy or whatever, they just look fucking terrible. Yeah. But there's a certain amount of gravitas and weight that practical effects lend to the longevity of the film.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and you watch movies from the 80s that had 100% practical effects. Like, I'm talking Silver Bullet with the werewolf.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it fucking still holds up today. Obviously, people bring up the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, where they were in Antarctica or whatever and doing research. That shit still holds up today. And then they made like a remake prequel of the movie in 2009 or 2010, and they used almost 100% CGI for all of the body horror and body changing effects, and it all looks like shit compared to the original.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I think that there's value, like we said before, there's value in both, but I just prefer kind of the older stuff, like the old Star Wars stuff before they went all CGI with it. Of course, you knew they were puppets and shit, but man, that's what kind of made it fun,
Yeah, I think you're right. It makes it fun, but it blends better to the background. It blends better to the world. it seems more real on film, and therefore you can be more immersed in the experience of watching it. And
Right.
the only time that CGI is super effective is when you don't even notice that CGI was used.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm sure like the latest Jurassic Park, which I haven't seen, is just fucking amazing as far as visual goes, but still your eye can catch shit that's off for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There's I don't know, a handful, like the Transformers movies and stuff. And I was like older when like Transformers came out, so that wasn't something that I was on my radar anyway. But
Yeah.
I watched like the first movie and then maybe the second movie, and there was just too much shit going on. It was just, I don't know, my brain couldn't keep up with all the moving parts and shit with that. It just seemed, I don't know
Yeah.
what my deal was with that, but I couldn't get into it.
I thought the first couple maybe Transformer movies were a spectacle in their own right, because a lot of those robots and stuff, as they were moving, they were like, the parts were animated, like it all looked like it is a machine that's actually moving and stuff, and I was impressed with that.
Yeah,
for sure. But the reflections that are on their, like the colors, like themselves, they look like they're not actually in the world. I mean, they did a pretty good job. I guess that was Michael Bay that did those movies.
Yeah.
So
right.
Whoever was the industrial light and magic of the time for his movies, that did those effects, they did a bang up job, and some of those hold up pretty damn good still today. But I mean, obviously, like I said, you can tell that they're not part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that will be the crowning moment, is when they can actually get it to where you cannot tell the difference, where there's just no way of telling.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far down the road that is. Probably not that far. I mean, they're pretty fucking close right now.
Yeah, they're advancing. Every iteration seems to bring us closer to a virtual reality experience, basically.
I remember the second Terminator movie that was like a leap in technology, when they could have the metallic cop, the metallic Terminator. I mean, that was crazy, but I'm not so sure that holds up now. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
You need to watch it again. It's definitely good. No doubt about it. Revolutionary. People use that movie as a standard to judge other things from then on forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. An achievement. And James Cameron couldn't have made Terminator 2 even 5 years before. So I think Terminator 2 came out in 1992.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Feels right. I could be wrong by a couple of years or whatever.
No, it was because it had the GNR song on it, and that's when that GNR album came out.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The GNR. Which GNR song?
You Could Be Mine.
That
was from the movie.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, don't remember.
It may have even been their music video, was back when that was a thing.
Yeah.
Dating myself. Their music video was just clips of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
92, man. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a 30 fucking years ago, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah. I was 19.
Yeah, Terminator 2, definitely a fantastic movie. And I think all of the effects still hold up pretty damn good today. Even there's actually some of the practical effects don't hold up quite as well as some of the CGI effects do.
Yeah.
What
were the ones I don't know that I saw any of the Terminator movies after that.
Yeah.
And I assume they just kind of built on that, and it technologically got better, as the as it was available.
You're going to have to define the word better in this case.
Yeah. More believable, more realistic.
No, they didn't. So I think Terminator 3 gets a lot of fucking hate from a lot of people, but I think Terminator 3 was pretty alright. It wasn't as good as Terminator 2, but it was pretty fucking good. And a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say Terminator 1 was better than Terminator 2. And I know Terminator 2, like, fucking blasted. As far as how much money it made, it blasted Terminator 1 out of the water. But yeah, to answer your question, if you were to never watch another Terminator movie beyond the first one and the second one, which come highly recommended, then don't. Because they pretty much practically all of them suck.
Right.
Real bad. And they don't really add a whole lot of good stuff to the Terminator story. They just uninspired, lackluster, cash grabbing pieces of shit.
I got a bit of trivia for you.
Oh, hit me.
Do you know who was originally slated to be the Terminator in the first movie?
If Last Action Hero taught me anything, it was Sylvester Stallone.
Nope.
No, okay, so for real, who was originally slated instead of Terminator? I'm going to say...
Instead of Arnold.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would say Kurt Russell.
Nope.
Okay.
O.J. Simpson.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Oh, fuck.
I don't know where I heard that. I heard that recently within the past 2 months, probably. I was just some kind of podcast or something. They said, it was so ridiculous. But OJ was big at the time, and he was on a bunch of commercials. I think he'd done maybe a Naked Gun movie or something. That was afterwards. But yeah, he was originally slated to be the Terminator, and then I guess who was the director?
James Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron got a hold of Arnold and talked to Arnold, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we're not using OJ.
Damn. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine that. That's just like that's like a total. That's where the world just goes on a different tangent.
Yeah, that's like
alternate universe.
Alternate history, alternate universe. You have formed a different timeline. You have fractured the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, man. Yeah, just imagine if it was like somebody. I'm sure we need to Google it, but I bet you somebody has made an edit where it is OJ, like done a. What do they call those? Deep fake, of his face on there. But then also like CGI, just a butcher knife in his hand the whole time.
Oh, yeah. That's low hanging fruit for sure. Someone's done that.
Yeah, low hanging fruit. Yeah, somebody has thought of that.
Earlier you said if you don't want to screw up your thoughts of Terminator or whatever, don't watch the new ones, dude. I did the same thing with Star Wars. I haven't seen anything past the first 6.
Okay, yeah.
I've not seen a single Disney rendering or offering of Star Wars.
That's all you need.
Yep, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, be satisfied with that and be thankful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just, with all the woke bullshit in it and just, I don't know, I think it jumped the shark, after the Jar Jar Binks deal, but I'm just like, well, all right, I'll at least see these last 2 out. And I like can't remember what the name of it was, the middle one of the second grouping. I thought was good.
Clone
it was
Wars.
real dark. Clone Wars was the first one. The second one was real dark, and then the third one kind of tied everything together.
You talking about the prequel trilogy? The
prequel.
Phantom Menace was the first one that came out.
Okay.
And
Clone Wars was the second?
Clone Wars was the second. And then the Revenge of the Sith was the third one.
Yeah. Clone Wars I like the best out of those 3 for sure.
Yeah, and I think George Lucas, I might not be remembering this right, but I think George Lucas used the same sort of 3-act structure. The overarching 3-act structure on each of the 3 original movies, where the first act kind of ends in an upbeat. The second part ends in a really big downbeat. Everything's depressing and sucks. And then the third movie kind of brings it home.
And the third movie, you get Ewoks. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third movie, you get Ewoks. And that's all you need. Yeah, but but I think he did the same thing with the prequel trilogy where...
You're right. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, it's one of those deals where I'll be rarely when I'm flipping through channels, I'll see one of the newer ones that's on TV. It's like, nope, not watching that. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, they completely destroy Luke Skywalker as a character.
And Han Solo, too, from what I heard.
Oh,
right?
yeah. They completely destroy the integrity. So these characters were like, you know, they were well thought out because in the beginning they each have a character arc. They go from being having some negative traits or you know, or whatever, and then they have a struggle. They have a call
redeeming
to action.
Themselves, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. And then so basically they've transformed into something else.
Yes.
That maybe is they're the heroes, so they're seen as positive. They're transformed into something positive. And then fast forward to the Disneyification of their three.
Yeah.
They just shit all over them. I mean, they demean them. They make them appear to be stupid and forgetful, and they have these characters do things that are out of character, basically, just so they can make their new characters that they invented appear to be so much better and smarter and stronger and faster. Yeah.
So it was intentional, you believe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
man.
It's really shitty.
I'm really glad I didn't watch it. Any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I had to. I couldn't just stand by.
I used to be like that. I mean, I was a big Star Wars fan. I mean, I was like their perfect fucking customer. You know, I was 77. I was 4. So the first time I saw it I was about 5 years old, and then it was Star Wars. Everything was fucking Star Wars after that. Everything. Yeah. You know, until I was 10 probably. And then the second one came out, and then they doubled down on it. It was I don't know, it was and to have that as my memory of it and not this new bullshit, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, be thankful. Of course I can separate. I can choose to believe that the other ones just never happened and didn't exist and they don't matter.
Yeah.
And if Disney some people will say that Disney's still making money off those movies, even though they've made them like shit, and a large part of the fan base is pretty upset about it.
Yeah, but they're still going to go. I mean, for the most part, I would think.
Yeah, I think
kind of bought in at this point.
I think I believe that there's a possibility. There's a future that exists that Disney, as a whole, as a company, as a group of storytellers or whatever. They stop and they take a deep breath and they look at what they've done and they're able to make a change and go back to the drawing board and rely on continuity being important. You know, making sure that the stories that they want to tell going forward are going to be cohesive with the original 6 that under Lucas's vision. And there's a future exists where they do it all right. Where there's people right now that are talking that are saying that there's already some rumblings in Disney that they're talking about actually publicly denouncing their 3 movies that they created and saying, "Oops, we're just going to pretend." Yeah, that I don't know how true this is, but there's rumblings where they say that Disney is going to officially come out and say, "Hey, these 3 movies are not canon to the actual story of Star Wars. We're going to go ahead and just go a different direction. And those 3 movies exist in a bubble all on their own." And, but I don't know how they can do that with Carrie Fisher now dead. Both Harrison Ford and
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Thank you very much. Those guys being as aged as they are, I think it may be too late.
I think
they may
so
just
too.
have to deep fake CGI him in to finish up any story.
Doable. They can do just about anything with that now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I mean, it's a fucking mess. Disney has fucked up so much shit, And there's
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either, but there's more and more people that are starting to kind of open their eyes to how bad of storytellers Disney has become, because of the woke liberal left.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and that, don't get me wrong. Everybody's got free speech; they can do whatever they want, and they can create whatever narrative they want as long as it's not hurting somebody else. I'm all for free speech, but at some point the public's just got to say, okay, enough of this shit.
Yeah, man.
We get it. We get it. You want to be the fucking hero. You want to be everything to everybody. Great, cool, congratulations. But I mean, everybody's got to live their own fucking life, and you deal with people how you want to deal with people. And I don't know. Disney to me is a non-necessity.
Yeah, I don't need Disney.
No, I think I've been to Disney World once and Disneyland once, and both of them were before 1980.
Wow.
Yeah,
I miss both of them. I haven't gone to either.
Yeah, I know people who go every year. I know grown adults who go every fucking year.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. That's your thing? Whatever, cool.
Yeah, right. I mean, everybody's got a thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Mine's sitting back and, trying to critique everybody else's art.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. God, yeah. So yeah, I never got into Star Trek ever. I mean, I wasn't into it. I liked Battlestar Galactica.
I didn't watch the original run.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I sure didn't. With the
it was good.
The male Starbuck.
That's the only Starbuck. Yeah,
Starbuck as being.
I didn't know there was a female one.
Oh, geez, Louise. You need to watch. You need to check out the remake or or whatever. It was very good with Edward James Olmos.
Sure.
And Katie Sackhoff.
Okay.
As you know who Katie Sackhoff is?
No.
She's a female actress. She plays a lot of tough girl roles.
Okay.
But she was, I would say, absolutely phenomenal as Starbuck.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starbuck was a dude in the original one.
Right. And so I don't know why they did a gender swap for
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I loved it. I watched the whole Battlestar Galactica.
Really?
Yeah.
But you never watched any of the first ones?
Never even heard of it.
Oh, man. Yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah, that's another thing on the list. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's dated. I mean, it's clearly kind of a Star Wars, cashing in on the Star Wars deal.
Yeah.
At the time, this was late 70s, early 80s, and that was what was fucking making money. So
yeah,
I get why they did it, but the story was cool. I liked the story, how they were, traveling to try and find Earth and shit. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, trying to find Earth again after escaping their own creation that turned against them, the Cylons, the cyborgs, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of goes back to there's some Mesopotamian and even Egyptian folklore that Sumerian, I should say.
Oh,
that goes back to kind of that same concept.
Oh,
so I always thought that was kind of cool.
Mesopotamia.
Yeah, current day Iraq.
Iraqistan.
Yeah, yeah. But wow. What was the other? Seemed like there's another space-based action show. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Did you ever watch that?
No, I missed that one. I did see the Looney Tunes episode where Daffy Duck was playing Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. Yeah, I like that episode of Looney Tunes quite a bit.
It's funny.
He fights Porky Pig over claiming this planet in the name of the Earth, and they both end up blowing the whole planet up, trying to prove who can claim the Earth or whatever, claim the planet for Earth.
When you were a kid, did you watch cartoons on Saturday morning?
Yeah, I sure did.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was still a thing or not.
Yeah, I'm only 7 years younger than you are.
Yeah, but I think every Saturday, it was okay, cartoons are on,
Mm-hmm.
and then after cartoons, it would be like a
Pancakes.
sci-fi, I don't know, like they're one of the channels would always do like a sci-fi movie in the middle of the day on Saturday, almost like it would be like a Godzilla movie or some kind of sci-fi deal from like the 50s or 60s, usually in black and white. Um, that was pretty much Saturdays, man. That was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Looney Tunes and all that shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I wonder, they probably kids. That's probably not a thing now, right?
I would imagine there's still got to be some channel you can flip on. Yeah, there's still channels you flip on that's got cartoons and stuff for young kids. But
right.
I mean, my kids for the longest time, they don't wake up in the morning and the first thing they want to do is sit down and watch cartoons for 30 or 50 minutes.
That's true. They got whatever they want on their phone,
Yeah, as soon as they pop up, pretty much they're tuned into catching up on the thing that they got on their cell phone, whatever, or they're already on the computer, jamming out doing the video game. And my youngest son does the social like video games where he's chatting to people all the time, stuff like that.
What does he play?
Mainly Roblox.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like Minecraft, but he tells me it's not like Minecraft.
Okay, I know what that is.
Yeah, and then he tells me it's also Minecraft and not Mindcraft.
Yeah.
But it's too funny to say Mindcraft every time.
Make him correct you every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's I don't know, a bunch of those kid games I wonder about. It's like, okay, what's the hidden message of these fucking things that's keeping all these kids just wanting to just do nothing but play Fortnite or Minecraft or any of those?
I don't know. They got addictive feedback loops baked into their. It's just like.
So you're always building on something, and you're always trying to unlock something new. Is that what it?
I imagine, and also every time you accomplish something, it's visual fireworks and fanfare that goes off that triggers your brain to make the happy chemicals and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's man. I mean that's just a whole market that
For sure.
Look at all these like I see ads for like the not roulette but the slot machine games for like your phone and shit like that, and it's just like it doesn't pay you any money. You just sit there and spin fucking wheels for nothing. I mean,
how
and like you said, you're paying for the stars to pop up and the sparkles to go off and all that shit.
Yeah, yeah, how funny.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming people will drop like $20 on 1,000,000 coins or something so they can continue to play. It's like you're not getting anything out of this.
Yeah, except you're tricking your brain and you're, into feeling like you've won something and a sense of accomplishment and shit like that. Yeah, it's just all, probably these people will probably do better by just buying some drugs and getting fucked up.
Yeah. Do you ever go to the casino?
No, I don't.
Never.
I don't believe in casinos. I think they're fake, ran by the government. No, I'm joking. I don't go to casinos because I don't feel the compulsion.
Yeah.
To play the game. I'm not gonna allow myself to be tricked into the bright lights and the fireworks and the noise, and that's not what fulfills me, and that's not what I want to fulfill me.
Yeah.
I don't want to get tricked into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that is alluring to some people. That gets them in the door. But then what keeps them there is that they get alcoholic beverages, and there's a show that's happening, and there's activities, and there's stuff that happens that goes on there, and they can get cigarettes and what the fuck ever else, and maybe sometimes they win money, and then that becomes their reality.
You're always trying to chase that next win, or offset all of your losses.
And then usually these people are extremely delusional about how much money they've actually lost.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't like they like to pretend they're the special one, and that they're the one that's won a little bit more than what they've lost compared to everybody else. But that's statistically untrue because casinos would not exist because they wouldn't have been banking. They wouldn't be banking off of your money.
Okay, so
If
either
everybody,
we're running into the same people, or it is a problem because 9 times out of 10, when I talk to people who are regular, frequent casino goers, oh, I win every time. I win. I win the last time I went there. I win every time. It's like bullshit. You fucking win every time. That's not how. Like you said, that's not how it works.
that's not how it works. If that was how it worked statistically, there'd be no casinos because
No.
they have to pay all the people that work there. They have to pay the electricity company to keep the shit
Yeah.
on. They have
Yeah.
to pay for all of the devices that gets put in, the maintenance guys to keep them running. They have to pay for the fucking cooks and the shit, and like, and then all the higher ups have to have money that goes into their pockets to buy their favorite yacht next year, and
Right.
to go on their 5th vacation for that year. So
Pay off the government people that they got to pay off. You know.
yeah, to keep doing whatever illegal activity that they're
Right.
doing. Yeah, man. No, it's like, no, I don't go to casinos because I believe that they're more harmful by and large than they are good. I can get the same sense of fulfillment and enjoyment out of watching movies quietly at my house, and it only costs me $5.
Yeah.
Or playing video games that I buy on sale from Steam for $10 or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's nothing sadder than driving by a casino on a Sunday morning and just seeing a full parking lot at like 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Shit.
And I've gone to casinos before. I mean, I used to live like 4 hours from Vegas, so we used to go up there all the time. And this was back in the early 90s to late 90s. And you could go up there and you could have a good time and play some card games and shit and drink basically for free. You could get a hotel room for $17, $20, and cram 6 guys in there. And never had any money, so never knew what it was like to really go and throw a bunch of money on tables or machines or anything like that. But I think I got it out of my system, after losing enough times to go, yeah, this just isn't fun.
Yeah. I think if you got money to lose, and I think if you've made the decision, I'm going to lose this money, I just want to see if it's going to give me 5 hours of entertainment, roughly speaking, or if it's going to give me 10 hours of entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, what could you do with that money to give you entertainment? Because we're all going to spend it anyways.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Yeah.
Middle class people.
Yeah. There's, I don't know. I guess there's a certain segment of society that just maybe uses that as a release.
Yeah, so like maybe they've got nothing else, and maybe that's okay. Whereas I would spend money on upgrading a part of my computer so I could do more computer shit, or I would spend money on upgrading my kid's computer or something like that, or maybe, trying to fix a crack in my shower floor, what the fuck ever. But these people, maybe they live in an apartment. They really don't have to worry about spending money on upgrading the place because it's not theirs anyway or whatever the fuck. So,
yeah.
Like they don't have maybe they don't have anything else, and that's why they can afford to lose it at the casino. Because the casino has to clean up all the trash that they produce.
True.
It's somebody else's fucking problem when they go there and they knock over the ashtray. Or they fucking leave their drink cups half spilt everywhere or whatever.
Yeah. We used to, my brothers and I used to drive up to Vegas on occasion, and we'd put bets on sporting events and stuff. It's called futures betting. And you can go and say, we usually go at the beginning of the year, when they opened up all the lines and the odds on who they predicted was going to win what. And we'd bet on NASCAR a lot. I bet on golf a lot. I bet on Olympic sports one time. I think I won over $1,000. It was a lot for me on the Czech Republic winning the gold medal in like men's hockey or something. in like '96 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah. So that made it fun. And back then I used to like to watch sports all the time. So it made watching sports a hell of a lot more interesting too when you had money on it.
Oh, yeah. So you were like studying it.
Yeah. Well, not so much studying it, but I mean, when the game's actually on or the race or whatever, you're just like, fuck, my dude has a chance to fucking win this. And I mean, rarely ever, I mean, I won them, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times on NASCAR races, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to fucking win.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And they used to give crazy odds too. I mean, from what I understand, they don't do it anymore, but I mean, you could get a guy, I mean, especially in like racing, if something bad happens early, like somebody who shouldn't win a race could easily win a race. So when they were given odds for like 2,500 to 1 or 3,000 to 1 for a guy to win it, it's like, dude, I'll put $10 on that. I mean, if that comes in, fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. That's right. That's just like playing the Powerball lottery thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know how much it costs to spend money on a ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, the way I see it, I've won a little bit of money from scratch-off tickets or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, not very much. Just a little bit. Like buying a scratch-off ticket at the gas station and scratching it off and, $20 or whatever.
That's cool.
But, I mean, I don't really do that. I don't chase after that. I don't
either. I never buy those. I bought 2 in the past 20 years, probably.
Yeah, I've probably bought maybe 20 in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So maybe statistically, it's like I gamble 10 times more than you do, but it's still almost zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every time, here's the thing I thought of the other day. I was like, scratch off the ticket. I spent $3 to buy it, and I won $10, and I'm like, oh man, cool. 35 other people had to lose. I just made 35 other people losers.
Yeah.
Because I won this $7 on this ticket or whatever the fuck it was.
Do you know anybody who's ever won big on a scratcher?
I think my wife has won like $50 off of one once. She does it. She does it as a prank.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna go prank the gas station guy and buy him a ticket, or buy a ticket for myself.
Yeah.
I say prank because it's like she doesn't do it seriously. I don't do it seriously.
No, I don't either. Throwing money away as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Basically, it's like, I'll skip the soda pop. I'll just drink water, but instead I'll buy the lottery ticket just for a goof. Because I'm going to waste the money anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You're going to consume it one way or another.
Yeah, I think the majority of us middle class people are kind of like that. You're going to spend it one way or the other. Yeah,
and it's like it seems like a lot of like super poor people tend to play that shit more than they should.
Yeah, probably because they got a lot of hope,
desperation, and hope. Yeah,
yeah, they're gonna like, man, I don't have any money. I got very little money or whatever. I'm gonna see if I can just gamble. Maybe I can win something. And they lose, obviously.
Yeah. So, dude, somebody told me a story about he was at work, and one of his coworkers there was in money problems and needed like $400 or something, and I guess he ends up asking the boss, and the boss says, "Okay, I'll loan you 400, and pay me back, over paychecks or whatever." And the guy says, "Oh man, thanks so much. I got to get to the casino." And the boss is like, and this is a true story. The boss is like, "What do you mean go to the casino?" He's like, "Yeah, I really need 1,000, so I got to see what I can do with this $400. It's like,
oh shit. That's funny.
Yeah. So sometimes that mentality is just ridiculous. Just people don't, I don't really know what your true odds are of winning and shit like that.
So how'd it turn out? Do you know if the guy?
I don't know. I assume he didn't win. I mean, I think I would have heard more about the story if he actually won.
Yeah, I think the universal justice, probably would I would hazard a guess and say that he lost his ass.
Yeah. 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 Do you have any casinos out there by you? I'm sure you do.
I think there's a couple. I think there's one called the Kickapoo Casino.
I've driven by that, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple. Riverwind maybe close by. I'm not sure.
I think that's down in Oklahoma or in Moore, maybe.
Yeah.
Norman. When I'm driving, especially through Oklahoma, a lot of times, man, nature calls, and it's just like, oh, I gotta find a toilet, and I'll stop at casinos because their bathrooms are always super clean, super clean. Better than any kind of truck stop, you know. And I'll go in there, and sometimes I'll put $1 in a machine, and then maybe not even spin the reels, you know.
Damn.
and go use the restroom, get a free Coke or Pepsi or whatever, and I'm on my way, and I didn't have to be in the nasty, you know, truck stop bathroom.
That's what they call wisdom.
Well, the kids today call it a hack.
Oh yeah, a life hack.
That's the most ridiculous shit, dude. I've seen some stupid ass like little videos on hacks. You know, it's like, dude, the little rubber deal on the end of the pencil, that's not a hack. That's called a fucking eraser.
You're actually seeing people where like, hey, if you've ever been writing something and you need to get rid
Literally,
of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah, we are not a smart society.
No, largely we don't have to be because we have the internet now. We can Google everything.
Yeah, come on, EMP.
Yeah, come on, blue fire. Fucking fill the sky with electricity and then make it all disappear.
Could you imagine that? What do you do day one when that happens?
Well, largely my life remains unchanged because I live far enough out where, I mean, if the EMP, if an EMP did go off, holy fuck! Now you're talking about some conspiracy theory, a packer. What do they call those? The preppers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some. But I mean, I've got a couple of sheep on the outside in a pen, chilling, just waiting for me to eat them.
Yeah, but you got no power. You probably got no water.
Yeah,
unless you've got some kind of solar. Yeah, I don't know what I do first day. I mean, I pretty much guess I just lock my gate and see how long I can fucking hang out.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I would do if I knew it was EMP and the electricity wasn't coming back on anytime soon is you'd go ahead and take some the cleanest buckets that you got and go ahead and just drain all of the pressure out of the lines and fill your shit up with water. Sure. Because if you wait a couple of hours, the pressure will dissipate and you won't get any water out of them. So might as well.
Right. Are you on a well or are you on city water?
I have both.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have quote unquote city supply to my house, but then I also have a well that's still functioning that we ran off of for 15 years up here before the city forced us to hook up to their infrastructure. Yeah.
What was your water quality like?
Not the greatest out of the well. Not the greatest.
Do you have any kind of filtering system on it? Or?
No, I wish we had taken the time to afford a better filtration system because it was mineral heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
I don't know what that does to the body, by consuming it or whatever, but I knew it scummed up my fish tank pretty fucking bad when I had a fish tank.
Yeah. I had to drill a well and then I had to put a filtration system on it. And the well was about $6,000 and the filtration system was about $4,000. But the water is just like drinking bottled water. It eats a ton of salt. I mean, I bet I put 80 pounds of salt into it every 3 weeks.
What does the salt do?
It softens the water. It takes a lot of the minerals out.
That doesn't. So my Cro-Magnon lizard brain doesn't understand. How would putting minerals in the water take minerals out of the water?
Some kind of chemical reaction that they attach to the salt molecules or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, kind of like when you take copper sulfate and drop it on some ferrous metal,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
there's an exchange that happens there, and what's left
Yeah,
over
it
is
creates an attraction or whatever.
yeah.
And then it goes. Then my system goes through a sand filter too, so it's not really sand; it's a media. And then
Well,
the
you're
water.
saying your water's cleaner by going through dirt. Come on, man. I'm just fucking with
Not
you.
exactly dirt, but
Yeah.
yes.
and then I make sure I pee in it, and I got
Yeah.
a bucket full of poop it pours into.
And then on my refrigerator, I have another filter on that refrigerator, so the water that I get out of the door of the fridge is basically double filtered. So it's really good. But it's all based on an electric pump. My pump goes out, I got no water.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about was how hard would it be to install like an old-fashioned hand pump to something
Well,
like that?
it depends. It depends. I've looked into it. It depends on how deep you are. Some of the shallower wells you can do that, but the deep ones, man, it's a lot of money. But it may be worth it if that's the only way that you can get water.
Yeah. If you live on a hill, I guess it's hard to get water, but if you live, down in the bottom, really close to, say, a river, I guess maybe that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I get good water. It's absolutely drinkable and absolutely good for pretty much everything except for like watering plants. So when I go out and I have to water plants, I got to go out to the well house, shut it off, and go straight well water on that. So that's something I wish I did a little bit differently. Is the spigots on the house I wish were mainlined right to the well and not through the filter. Because I don't want to put filtered water on the plants.
Why is that?
They don't get the nutrients they need. There's a lot of nutrients in that water that gets filtered out. That's not necessarily good for drinking, but.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And then I have a generator. I have a backup generator that will run my well pump, but it's only good for as much gasoline or propane that I have. So.
Does it run off of both gasoline or propane?
Yeah, you can switch it over. It'll do both.
That's strange. Wow.
Yeah, and it's cool. Yeah, and it wasn't that expensive. It was like maybe $1,200, I think.
Holy shit.
And it's got an 8-gallon. No, not 8 gallons. It's got probably a 4-gallon gas tank on it.
Yeah.
A heavy son of a bitch, but I got it just in case the power goes out and I need to run water and some kind of heat.
Yeah, we have a generator, but we haven't had to fire it up. Except
does it do the whole house, or is it just you plug into it?
Plug into it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother's next door. They have the whole house generator, and it comes on automatically. When the power goes out, and it's hooked to their propane.
Wow.
So they really wouldn't know, unless they knew for sure that the power had gone out. So it's like flawless. It's seamless. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty damn cool. It sounds to me like you guys have a better idea of what to do when the EMP does pop off.
Yeah, but so much of our shit is just so based on microchips that damn near everything we use is not usable. My pickup truck will still run. I got a '76 Chevy that'll it's EMP proof, so I like that.
Hell yeah.
It's just got to start up.
Yeah, you just got to maintain it.
I do. Actually, I was going to try and take it out this weekend. I just kind of ran out of time, but it just sits in the garage. So, yeah, I don't know how we got onto this talk, but that's cool.
Yeah, maybe we should wrangle it back to some horror stuff or whatever. Halloween.
Yeah. See, what else? What other? I think what really spooked me. Jaws spooked the shit out of me as a little kid.
Did it?
Oh yeah, man. I was fucking afraid of that shit big time.
Yeah. I think my young mind being bitten by a rabid shark or whatever the fuck Jaws was supposed to be was just as likely of me getting mauled by a werewolf or something, which was highly unlikely. So those things didn't truly scare me.
Yeah.
As a youngster.
Yeah. I saw Jaws 2 in the theater, and it was 3D. That was, I think, maybe the first 3D movie I ever went to.
Hell yeah. You had those glasses on?
The red and blue ones, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that would have been, I don't know, early 80s. And that was the first 3D movie I saw. Man, I don't remember seeing many more after that, to be honest.
Because it was such a stupid gimmick that it just...
Yeah, it worked, though. I mean, you got to kind of get your mind right and say, okay, yeah, this is a 3D movie, and it's not going to look, 100% perfect, but, man, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I think the last movie I ever saw in the theater was World War Z. So that's, probably 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Yeah.
And it was in 3D, but my eyes are so fucked up by that point that it just didn't work. It looked like just a big blurry fucking mess.
No, damn
and they had the higher end or the more technologically advanced glasses, and they didn't work for me at all.
Oh well, shit.
So yeah, it was just like, okay, this is gay.
Yeah, World War Z I think was a really damn good movie.
I thought it was a good movie too. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. The book was good too.
I did not read the book.
Yeah, the book was written by Max Brooks,
mm-hmm.
and I don't believe he's any relationship to Mel Brooks, but Max Brooks. He also wrote the precursor to that book called The Zombie Survival Guide.
Ooh.
Which I read. I read both of these books over and over again because the Zombie Survival Guide is all satire or whatever. It's all joke, but it takes itself. It pretends to take itself extremely seriously. Like it provides an explanation as to why zombies exist, and it gives examples through history how it's happened multiple times, and it's just a big cover up conspiracy by the governments. Because if everybody knew, that dead people can come back to life and try to eat you or whatever, then we'd all just go apeshit crazy. Like society would completely break down.
Yeah.
So it's all kept hush as like a dark secret of humanity. But it's happened again. Like he provided examples, like every major fall of every, like the Roman Empire falling, Egyptian, whatever
was linked to that.
Yeah, was linked to some sort of outbreak that occurred, and the people scattered, and the stories were lost to time, and they're no longer believed. They're considered to be fables or whatever, as opposed to being
kind of like all the old civilizations all have a flood.
Yeah.
Story.
Oh yeah, a lot of them do. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, even like in South America and all over the world.
Yeah.
So plausible.
Yeah, but he goes, the whole zombie survival book is like, this is the tactics that you employ if the world ends and you have to survive in the zombie apocalypse, like where people, are being eaten by undead humanoids or whatever. So it's like it talks about tactics, like when to move, if you gotta make a camp, learn how to make fire, and then know when to turn out.
You should probably know anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You should know all that stuff anyway. But it talks about
Boy Scout stuff.
Yeah, like using bladed weapons as opposed to just fantasizing that your machine gun is going to save the day, when really all you're going to do is just you're going to become a big noisy soup can for all the undead around you, because they're going to gravitate towards the source of the big machine gun sound.
Yeah. Were you in the Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts or anything like that?
No.
Me neither. Was that even a thing when you were a kid?
I think there might have been a couple of opportunities somewhere. I think there could have been opportunities to join or whatever, but I never did, or if I ever heard about it, it was just like too far removed away from my daily exposure. Like I never was really exposed to it, but I knew about it. I knew,
Yeah, I didn't do it. It was kind of nerdy, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see how some people would think that, but
that was my perception. I don't think it is now. I think it's probably like I said, it's probably shit that you could probably utilize in everyday life if you had to, and it's probably something everybody should know.
Yeah, kind
But but my mindset back then was like, nah, this is not something I want to do.
Yeah, I can see how people would think that, but obviously that's not what I thought. As a young person, I thought that the idea, the fantasy that they're teaching you how to survive in a stressful situation or whatever, or like, some of the things that we all should
basic
know.
First aid and shit like that. Yeah.
I saw all that stuff as being valuable, but I didn't pursue it. I pursued it on my own time. Yeah. I learned a lot of that shit on my own.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought British SAS survival books, like the military. Oh, wow. Yeah, and then like medicinal herbal plants in northern America, North America.
Oh wow!
I bought shit like that and read over them. So I've got a bunch of survival books on the shelf in the library here at the house.
Yeah, I have a couple like bushcraft books that basically tell you how to survive out in the woods and whatnot. Yeah, it's always good for the back of the toilet,
Good for the back of the toilet. Yeah, for sure. I've got a few of those myself. Yep. People
probably don't keep literature in the John anymore. Everybody's on their phone, right?
Anymore, yeah. I think used to we had a stack of books right next to the thing that held up the toilet paper. Yeah.
Yeah, magazine rack or something. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, that's a dying or dead industry now.
Yeah. There was a series of books called Uncle John's Toilet Reader.
Okay.
And it was just like short, bite-sized factoids or whatever. I mean, it was marketed as being, hey, like, here's kind of a Ripley's Believe It or Not series of small history factoids or whatever.
Sure.
And I think my wife ended up getting like 4 volumes, and I'm talking volumes are like just as thick as a novel.
Oh, wow.
Maybe not nearly that thick, but they were full-size books, though. They were like, the size of a comic book size.
Wow.
As opposed to a paperback novel.
Yeah, we used to always keep the sports almanac on the back of the toilet, and then maybe Guinness Book of Records, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That was always interesting.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, I think what else? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. So you asked me earlier what movies actually scared me.
Yeah.
When I was young, I would say the one that I know for sure actually scared me, and I was like, I had to shut my eyes.
Really?
When I watched the movie. Yeah, it was Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the gore in it, and then I think the music does a really great job of imparting a sense of dread to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, I haven't seen that in a long time, but yep.
Yeah,
that's a great movie. They probably did 2 remakes of it by now, right?
Yeah, they've done 1 remake of it, and I remember it not being that good.
Yeah, not shocking.
Yeah, not shocking for sure. The story, like the subplot or whatever of the mom being afraid of her childhood older sister at the time that was all sick, and she had to like feed her when she was in bed and stuff like that. Shit scared the fuck out of me, man.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it was just like the depiction of the twisted human, that was sick, and you didn't know what was wrong with her, and you didn't know what she was capable of. She couldn't feed herself, so somebody else had to feed her, but at the same time, it's like, what if she reached out and grabbed you? It's like, that shit scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And because it's like, I think the psychologically as a young person, it was like, you don't know what has caused her sickness. So what if she gives it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that maybe I didn't recognize it at the time, but I think that's what it was. It's like the repulsion of being near somebody that has a condition and you don't know if they're contagious, and because you don't want that to happen to you.
Right.
How stigmatizing it is to, those people that have sicknesses.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. What about Salem's Lot, another Stephen King movie?
Damn it, man. I need to watch that movie. Fuck.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's a lot of people say that, man, and I've never been exposed to it.
You don't want to watch it like super early in the morning, like by yourself.
Why?
It's just not like jumpy or anything like that. It's just fucking creepy.
What's about it in the morning? Like, what is that?
Just when I'm talking like middle of the night, early morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with nothing else going on, just weird. Sometimes you hear weird sounds. At least I do. Hear something rumbling. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway. But I don't know. It's put that on your list too. It's awesome.
Yes, sir. I've got a DVD copy of it in my storage. I've got like 9 storage bins completely full of DVDs and Blu-rays. Yeah, I've got it in there. I just got to dig it out, play it.
Yeah, I think David Carradine is in it.
Yeah, is that
Keith Carradine? Maybe.
Yeah. Damn it, Keith Carradine.
It was the one who was in Starsky and Hutch. Not.
I'm thinking of the older dude that gets possessed. That's not him, right?
Mm-mm.
No, I forget his name, but he was in a lot of movies in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, that one spooked the hell out of me too.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Salem's Lot. Stephen King did a ton of good ones, and then there were some that were just like not really scary, but more. I would want to be in that, like Misery. I thought was good, but I didn't really think that was scary.
Right. Yeah, I think it was a good movie. I never read the book, but I think it was a good movie. Yeah. But it wasn't something that scared me.
Yeah. What about The Stand? Did you ever see that?
Oh, damn it, man. I read the book.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, obviously the book is really good, but no, I've never watched any television adaptation of it. I need to.
It's good. It's long, but it's good.
For sure. Yeah.
I saw that. Fuck, I guess probably when it first came out.
Yeah, I want to say there's 2 different adaptations of it. I could be wrong.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, there might only be one. I think there was 2 though.
Yeah, the only one that I knew of had kind of not really an all-star cast, but just it was a good cast.
Ensemble.
Yeah, Molly Ringwald was in it, and I can't remember.
Guy that played Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that played Lieutenant Dan. I can't remember his name for the life of me right now.
Yeah. But yeah, really good, really good. Cat's Eye. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, Cat's Eye. I mentioned that in a podcast here recently with Matachu that I did a couple of podcasts ago. Yeah, Cat's Eye is fucking great. I need to go back and watch it again. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think I may have caught like the end of it. Or no, I saw Creepshow 2 just recently too. And that was really good.
Yeah, both of the Creepshow movies are fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it that you liked about Creepshow 2?
I think just all of the little not vignettes, but the movies within the movie, they're all so different, but they're all so good.
Yeah. I forget what it's called when there's a thread, a story thread that's woven in between tales. There's a name for that, and I forget what it's called right now. But yeah, it was like where the kid gets the package from the mail-in thing, and he ends up getting the man-eating Venus flytraps or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then they eat the bullies. Yeah,
it's very well written and good acting too.
A lot of personality.
Yeah. I think the part that I saw was the ones where the kids were swimming in the lake and they were on that platform and there was the swamp monster or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. He's like, I beat you.
Yeah, I beat you. And then, you know, he didn't beat it after
and
all.
he didn't beat it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's
I
been
watched.
some booby in that too, right?
There's a what?
There's some boobies in that too, right?
Yeah. If you're a boobies fan, there's boobies in that movie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that story is called The Raft.
The Raft. Okay.
And I believe, I want to say that Stephen King wrote that story specifically for the Creep Show 2, but I recently read one of his compilation short story books, and it was the same story, but it was, of course, a little different. I can't remember what was different about it, but I enjoyed reading that one. The Raft. Every film adaptation is a little different. They can't do it exactly, and I don't know why, but they just can't do it one for one. So this recent watch through that I did of Creepshow 2, I never knew what the bigger muscly dude. I think we only know him as Cisco.
Okay.
I never knew what he said to Poncho because Poncho's talking about. He's like, oh man, there's that oil slick fucking thing over there, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been out there plenty of times. I never seen anything like that before. It looks fucking disgusting, like somebody created it or something. And then Cisco's like, muy ecological, Poncho, as he's smoking that joint. Muy ecological. Yeah. And I didn't know I never knew what he said, but I knew it sounded kind of like Spanish. And then this time I caught it. He says, you know, muy ecological, Poncho.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so fucking funny, man.
Oh man, yeah.
So I've been saying it at work to people like for the past 6 months. You know,
they got no idea.
Yeah, they got no idea. As soon as they mentioned something about, oh man, the fucking trash spill out of the trash can. Nobody takes the trash can out. It's spilled over on the floor. Muy ecological, Poncho. Muy ecological.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, man. Yeah, all those Stephen King deals are awesome. I mean,
yeah.
Not all, like I said before, they're not all, super scary. I mean, some of them, man, fucking make your mind start to wander a little bit.
Yeah, they make you think. I think some of them do. So there's in the same movie, there's the Ride Home. I forget what it's called. Maybe it's just called The Ride.
Or the lady hits the dude.
Yeah, and lady hits the dude, and then she's haunted by lady. Thanks for the ride,
lady.
Yeah, that shit's fucking great. Hey, lady, thanks for the ride.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and she like monologues to herself after leaving her adulterous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's like, she just gets done like fucking this young dude, and she's like, oh, I got to get home. Holy shit, my husband's gonna be home anytime, and I got to get home, and then she's like. What if he catches me? Well, whatever her name was, we'll call her Miss Brown. She's like, well, that's going to be $10,000, Miss Brown. You're going to have to pay for a really good lawyer, and, and don't forget about the, whatever. And then she hits the dude, and she's like, she feels bad, and she's like, oh man, I wish I hadn't hit that guy, but I'll fuck it. I got a life. He's going to fuck my entire life up if I stay and like, fess up to the crime or whatever. Like it's going to completely derail everything. So she doesn't deserve that. But then she thinks about the damage that happened to her car. Oh, that's going to cost $3,000, Miss Brown. She's just talking to herself about how much money every mistake she makes is going to cost her. And then I never caught that when I was younger, but it's like, damn, what a selfish bitch she was.
Yeah. Yeah. And how preoccupied with that was versus the person that she just killed.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so that's what makes good characters, right? Or good characters that you, the audience, firstly identify with their concerns, but then that they deserve the horrible death they got.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel bad that she gets fucking haunted and killed, right?
Oh no, that's what she gets.
Yeah, it's what she gets for being a fucking stupid cunt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what about Christine? Did you like that movie?
I need to watch it. So that's the car one, right?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, I've watched parts of it. I've never watched the whole thing through.
What about Maximum Overdrive?
Yeah, I've watched it several times, and it's
Very good movie. Yeah.
yeah. Some people fucking hate it. Some people think it's really
Really?
fucking trash. Yeah. Um, but I think so I read the story, and I don't think it's
Hmm.
called Maximum Overdrive. I think it's called something else. But the way the story ends, spoiler alert, if you're going to read the Stephen King book, but it ends bleakly, and it's not
Hmm.
it's not triumphant. I think in the movie they finally triumph over the vehicles.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but in
And
the
Coke
story,
machines and cigarette machines and
yeah, yeah. But in the book, the all the automobiles, they wrangle the people up at a
oh
refilling
wow.
station, and they get the people to operate the gas pumps as these vehicles
Ah,
just circle around the refinery or whatever, and they have to do that until the gas runs out, and then obviously there'll be no more use for the humans.
jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I should revisit the book. That sounds cool.
yeah. I just spoiled it for you. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good.
It was a short story. It was quick read.
Yeah, yeah. Good soundtrack. AC/DC was on that soundtrack.
Yeah, I need to check that out. I think in a lot of those earlier movies, I didn't have the mental capacity to really try to keep in mind like what music is playing and when and stuff like that. Even though that's a major part of film.
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, if you had like a top three movie soundtracks, and I think there's a difference between the soundtrack that just uses a whole bunch of like already known songs
Yeah,
and versus original
yeah,
compositions
yeah,
for the movie.
yeah. Um,
What do you think are some of the better ones ever?
Man, that's a really tough question, but I do have answers, and they're probably not going to be good.
Hmm.
Queen of the Damned
Okay.
is one soundtrack that I think was super fucking phenomenal. And I would be remiss if I don't mention the Last Action Hero soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah, because that soundtrack is fucking
That have
killer.
like some Aerosmith on it?
Um, no, Queensryche, AC/DC.
Okay.
Um, oh, for fuck's sake, you're gonna make me look it up real quick.
No. Yeah, I've got a general idea.
Um, Alice in Chains was on it, and a lot of these people made the music specifically for this movie,
Oh
Last
wow.
Action Hero. Yeah.
I
So
remember the movie, but I don't remember seeing it.
yeah, the Last Action Hero is fucking great, man. There's some people out there that want to say that it sucks as far as an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie goes, but
Yeah.
dude, it's way more complex
Yeah.
than people give it credit for. Like it's a pretty fucking great film.
What's the
Um,
kill count in it?
oh god, 187 people. Yeah. Um, which is an improvement on the previous film, which I think they killed 414.
Commando?
No, it's a kind of a joke that's in the movie itself because they
Oh,
ask
really?
him, yeah, because the movie takes place centered around a movie called Jack Slater 4, and Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, as Arnold Schwarzenegger, is talking to a reporter about how they decided to reduce the kill count in this movie. From because the previous movie they killed like 400 people, and this one they only killed like 187 or some shit like that, or
Oh,
140.
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But okay, so the soundtrack for this one was a song called "A Little Bitter" by Alice in Chains, which that song is fucking phenomenal.
Hmm.
"Angry Again" by Megadeth,
Oh, wow.
and then "What the Hell Have I" by Alice in Chains, another Alice in Chains song. Um, Two Steps Behind, Def Leppard.
Yep. I know it.
Last Action Hero by Tesla. Big
Interesting.
Big Gun by AC/DC. Dream On by Aerosmith. You're right. It had Dream On
Yeah.
in it. Yeah, I'm. Shit. So some orchestral music. A band called Fishbone.
I know that.
Okay. And then Queensryche. They did their song Real World. Cypress Hill, Cock the Hammer. some Mozart, and Anthrax.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it looks like there's a couple more too. Twilight Zone theme was used in the movie as kind of a joke. The Hanging Tree, I think that was an original by some person. I don't know who they are. And then a couple of the songs that don't seem like they're a band. So
yeah.
But from what I understand, the two Alice in Chains song, the Megadeth song, and the AC/DC song "Big Gun" were all written specifically for this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could be wrong on one of those, but I'm pretty sure that's correct on all of them.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe I have to go back and watch that movie. I haven't seen it.
It's totally worth it, man.
Okay, it's on my list.
Yeah. So soundtracks, those two soundtracks for sure.
I thought the Forrest Gump soundtrack was good, but it's kind of cliche. You know.
You mean a lot of people bring that kind of like they would say Lord of the Rings soundtrack?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think a lot of the songs on the Forrest Gump soundtrack have, I don't know, maybe just, I don't know, not aged as well as they could have.
Yeah, like you say, kind of cliche, kind of tropey.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
I mean they get that way for a reason.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Flash Gordon from 1980?
So there's been a lot of people bringing that up lately. I mean, did it just have like some sort of anniversary or something? Because there's been a lot of people bringing up Flash Gordon.
Not that I know of. It was, I like the movie. The Queen did the whole soundtrack for it. It's badass. I mean, there's some parts of that just fucking rock. I mean, it's very well done.
Queen did that whole soundtrack. They did the soundtrack for Highlander, first Highlander
too. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that first Highlander movie was fucking wicked good.
Yeah, it was good.
God damn it.
It's one of those ones that kind of gets lost in the mix, but yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, we're the princes of the universe.
Princes of the universe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that fucking song is badass.
Yeah, that was right before Freddie Mercury died.
Damn it.
But yeah, you ought to check out Flash Gordon, man. It's badass. No real big names in it. Max von Sydow.
Yeah, he's a big name.
Guy.
Yeah, Max von Sydow. He always plays a good bad guy.
And then one of the James Bond, not Pierce Brosnan.
Roger Moore.
Nope. He was only a Bond for like two movies, maybe one movie.
Oh, fuck. Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton was in Flash Gordon too. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Check it out. It's campy and yeah, it's it's from 1980. So I mean, it's the tech is not all that great, but it holds up. It's. I mean, if anything, the soundtrack makes it worth watching.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I saw a parody of this movie called Flesh Gordon on Skinamax.
Yeah. Oh, those days, man. We had a cable descrambler at one point. We could get all those channels and just some of the titles of those things, man. It's just like.
Yeah, I think Flesh Gordon wasn't as explicit as maybe is what you're thinking, where your mind is going right now. But it was like it had huge penis, like spaceships and stuff like that. If I remember right.
Okay.
Like penis-shaped spaceships, and I think it was rather tame, but.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't like a porn parody. It was just.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was just.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it was just like
I bet you there's one of those out there too.
There probably is, yeah, for sure.
Man.
I recently watched Eraserhead.
I don't know that I've even heard of that.
David Lynch came out in the 60s. David Lynch is heralded as one of those iconic American directors.
Yeah.
in strange film and stuff like that. And Eraserhead was one of those ones that I kept telling myself, hey, don't forget about that one. You need to go back and watch it. And so it's been on the list for a long fucking time because, you know, it came out in the 60s, black and white. It's creepy. It's disturbing. It's otherworldly. It's dreamlike. Yeah. It's weird, man. I mean, it's super weird. There's like almost no... It's not like a normal, you know, movie where characters do things and there's a plot and dialogue. It's like a weird fever dream. The whole fucking movie is like,
wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those experiences where you got to just be interested you got to be accepting just to sit there and maybe drink a little alcohol and just just let it happen. You know.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, because it's
Eraserhead. That doesn't even sound familiar.
Eraserhead. Yeah, it's a good one, man. I mean, it's a cult classic.
What about Psycho? Do you ever what do you think about Psycho?
The original Psycho, totally, really good. It's been a long time since I've watched it. Of course, Psycho was originally modeled after Ed Gein, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I thought Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, I thought Jeffrey Dahmer was modeled after Ed Gein.
Well, Jeffrey Dahmer was the guy who killed people.
I'm sorry, Buffalo Bill from what's it called? From
Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. So was Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
You know, so there's been a lot of people. There's been a lot of people in film, characters created that has been inspired directly from the atrocities and the horror, the real life horror that Ed Gein was a part of in his waking life back in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Because he was caught in like 57 in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then I think he was tried in 59.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But he was making like lampshades and
out of skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ed Gein, he was digging up dead bodies and then taking parts off of them and then taking those parts and doing his bullshit homebrew taxidermy. And then arts and crafts. Like he was scrapbooking. He was scrapbooking with like women's vaginas and like ears and noses and shit. And he made bowls, like he ate breakfast cereal out of the skull caps of people's skulls.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So he decorated his house. Yeah. Like you said, lampshades out of skin. Yeah. He did that.
Oh man. Yeah. That's,
yeah. I mean, it's pretty gross, but I mean,
yeah, I mean that's stuff.
He had his art though.
Yeah. What do you think about Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects?
I didn't like Devil's Rejects near as much as I'd liked House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to go back and rewatch like all of them because I even missed the third one. I forget what the third one was called.
I didn't see the third one.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I liked House of a Thousand Corpses a lot. And then I watched Devil's Rejects, and it just wasn't it just didn't feel the same to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same sort of body horror. It wasn't the same sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like you're locked in a house and they've been killing people forever and shit. It was like, I don't know. It was more like Bonnie and Clyde, or it was a little bit more like Natural Born Killers than it was.
Sure.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. I think you're right.
But I mean, after going, I'm not, like I said, I'm not, I don't think I hated it. I just didn't want to watch it again. It wasn't as compelling to me as House of a Thousand was.
Yeah. Yeah, some movies are like that. It's like, okay, I've seen it. I get what it's about. It's really not for me. I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot. You know, it's hard for me to be scrolling through Prime or Netflix or whatever and just, God, there's nothing on here. Seems like I want to watch, other than shit I've already seen before. Trying to find new stuff is difficult. And when it does come, it's like shocking to the system. It's like, oh wow, people can still write a fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I'm desperately seeking still new movies that are made now, desperately seeking the good ones. It's
Yeah.
hard to find them.
Yeah. I mean, TV show, same thing with TV shows. I don't really remember the last TV show that I like sat down or not sat down, but would look forward to the following week. Or there's nothing like that now. I mean, it had been like that for a long time, for me at least. I mean, I used to watch Cheers somewhat religiously.
Yeah,
Used to watch. Oh shit, Saturday Night Live. I guess I
yeah,
used to, but I've watched that in 20 years. I mean,
yeah. I don't think you're missing very much.
no, I know I'm not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, again, it's nice to see that, on occasion somebody does pull something out of their ass and go, oh, wow, okay, this person's got some talent. I'm looking forward to what they do in the future. And then they don't do anything like they just did,
Mm.
I saw The Purge. That was a more recent one, I guess.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I guess it was. Maybe the first one came out about
10 years ago?
10, yeah, I was going to say 9, 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting as a concept. I watched the first one, and it didn't grab me. It didn't grab me by the boo-boo or whatever, but I didn't need to see another one. Kind of like, so the first Saw movie that came out, I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But then once the second one hit, it was like, okay. So they took a massive step back, and in their concept and production, they're not bringing anything new to the table. It's just basically they're trying to capitalize on the hysteria or the craze or the fucking whatever. And
I've never seen any Saw movies, and I've never seen any Scream movies.
Scream is they're a parody of the horror slasher film.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first Scream movie, I think, is pretty iconic, and I think in its own right is really fucking good. I think you can probably leave the next 4 Scream movies,
okay,
and or the next 3, and then not even watch them. I think the first Scream movie is like a must see. I think you got to watch it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's got David Arquette in it.
Oh yeah, and Patricia and
no,
Patricia Arquette's not in it. It's what's her fucking name that wifed up to David Arquette?
Courtney
Cox. That's it.
Yeah. Just I don't know. Maybe I was the wrong age for that to come out and me to be interested in that.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of movies are ageless. Personally,
agree. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you reach a certain age and you kind of grow out of that medium as an entertainment thing, and then like some people that grow out of video games.
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling it now a little bit myself.
I am too a little bit myself. I mean, I'm not going to buy a PS5. I've already told myself that. I don't. Just man.
Yeah. I mean, I still like video games. I still play video games right now, but here this past about handful of years, it's really the interest in sitting down in front of my computer and playing the video game is interesting. It's tickling me less than what it used to.
Right. I'm always kind of searching for that game that would bring me back to kind of the way that my memory reminds me of some of the games used to be, and they just don't do that anymore for me.
Yeah. You might be right. I mean, it sounds to me like you're chasing a fantasized version of what your younger self thought was good, and you can't get because you've matured and you've aged, and you can't get back that way.
Yeah, and that's part of it, and the other part of it is they just don't make games like some of those old school games anymore.
Yeah.
I used to love to play like the Maddens and the college football games and sports games and stuff. Dude, I could give a fuck about those anymore, just because they've been so lazy in every year. They say, oh, this one's got this now, and there's like Madden games from like people talk about like Madden 07 or Madden 08 is better than any game that they've put out since then. And it's just like, well, why can't we go back to that with the newer graphics and shit?
Yeah, man.
It's just, and I don't know, maybe it's copyright, maybe it's maybe it's lawyers. I don't know, but
I don't know. Corporate meddling.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
that's a big part of it too. And
I think video game has become such a huge industry that the people that create the art the like the boots on the floor that actually does the actual work,
yeah,
they have less control and less input over what the final product is going to be than what they used to back in the early 90s, I would
for
say.
sure.
Because they had more control over the art that was produced and the way it was produced and all that sort of shit. And now it's become so corporatized where all the higher ups have to have an opinion about everything, and it has to go through approval processes, and they have to water everything down to achieve a broader audience, and they can't just make niche games. I would say probably if you even gave a shit, I would say indie games available on Steam to download only. Find a genre that you're interested in, if it's first-person shooter, third-person shooter, story-rich, adventure, puzzle, platformer, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But just try to find one from an individual developer, like a super small team, super small company, because then they're not weighted down by the politics of business and all that other bullshit.
Sure, by Activision or EA or whoever.
The super big names, there's so many fucking hands in the pot. What do they say? The too many cooks in the kitchen spoils the broth or whatever.
Yeah. And like you said, they try to be everything to everybody, and that's
it ends up not being like, if you want a video game to be the brightest fucking brilliant orange you've ever seen, to put it in a stupid, metaphor, then you can't have all the colors mixed together, because then you just get a muddy fucking brown, and that's not what you were after. That's not what you're looking for. Right. So you can't, it's like some indie games do some things like really, really good. If you're talking about, a simple racing game that has a certain feel to it, they're not also going to be a shooter game that has all the...
Right. Did you
Yeah.
see there was a leak from Rockstar Games for GTA 6?
I didn't watch any of the footage, but I did hear all the backlash, so there's a lot of people talking shit about it, and my personal opinion is like, what are you fucking talking shit about? Yeah. Like even the greatest masterworks, oil on canvas paintings from the Renaissance period started out as just some bullshit charcoal sketches on gesso.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, who knows at what point of development are they at? The only thing that I thought was not shocking and not surprising was that they released some of what they proposed the storyline is supposed to be, and it's super fucking woke,
Oh,
and
interesting.
It's and it's always been kind of left, I guess, a little bit, but not like in your face. But this one's in your face from what it sounds like.
Tell me about it. What is it?
The only things that I've really read were that you can play as two characters, a male or female. The male is a soy boy fucking leftist, and his girlfriend, the other player that you can play, is a female Latina, Cuban, Mexican, I'm not 100% sure. And the antagonist is patriots, people that believe in the Constitution and shit. So I'm like, this probably isn't for me. But again, who knows? Who knows what the length of and the breadth of the storyline is? But
yeah, I mean,
that may be enough for me to just at least wait it out, and not buy it right away.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't buy any big game like that right on. I don't pre-order any game like that.
I used to. I mean, when I knew that it was something that I was anticipating, and I'd read enough about it, and I'd always pre-order stuff. But anymore, I don't so much anymore. Yeah, I mean,
if you were going to, I think you're wise by not doing that. But I find it hard to believe that Rockstar would do that, given their track record with all the other games they've made.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that GTA 5 was a little bit left-leaning. personally, I don't see that myself, unless you could cherry pick a few artists or whatever.
Yeah.
But I find even if it was a little bit, I find it hard to believe that they would go full fucking Disney mode on that shit, because they're Red Dead 1, Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
all the GTAs before that. They did the game called Bully, I think.
Oh yeah, I love Bully. Bully was fun.
Yeah, I never played it. I need to.
You never
play
played
that.
it, really?
I need to. Yeah, everybody says it's good.
I finished it. I don't think I got like 99% complete on it. There was one little fucking side mission where you had to like put a bike back together or something, and I could not figure the fucking thing out.
Damn.
I spent hours on it, and I had a buddy who played it too, and I told him about that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can do that every time." I'm like, "Oh, ow," And it was fun. It was a good game, and it came out, unfortunately, during a lot of school shootings and bullying incidents and whatnot. So it kind of got a bad name because of that. But it was fun. It wasn't really open world by any means. I mean, I guess it was open world within the school campus, but you couldn't like go out into the town or anything like that, really.
Yeah, I think sometimes an open world game or whatever, it has its appeal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really think about the limitations of video game file sizes and development and production and all that sort of shit, you can't have everything. If like me here lately, I've been more interested in a curated linear story and progression that I get to participate in. I've been appreciating those, because then I know when I start the video game, I'm only going to be playing it for 12 hours, maybe, or a little bit less, and I'm going to get through the whole damn thing, and there's going to be a definitive story that's being told, and I can appreciate all that. Sometimes I want an open world experience where I get to go sandbox, do whatever I want to do, and you can spend 60 to 100 hours playing the game, but at the end of the day, and at the end of all that time, was it a richer experience? Was it really?
Yeah.
I've been finding here lately that I'm actually enjoying the older single player only, games from the 90s and the early 2000s that I missed.
Yeah. Did you ever play Max Payne?
I never did, but that's another one I want to play.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's good. It's real good. It's very linear like that.
Yeah. So I've got Max Payne on my wish list for Steam, and I'm going to go ahead and just wish list Max Payne 1 so I can go back and play it sometime soon.
I mean, this was probably 99, 2000 probably when it came out.
Yeah.
And the graphics were good for, back then, I thought.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of cutting edge. But yeah, I get it. I like the open world stuff. I like to be able to just go and do shit when I want to do it, not have a little clock at the bottom saying I got to be here by this time and that type of shit. It's like
I agree. There's a time and
I
place.
understand the limitations, though. I mean, and I'm sure you've seen it. There's some YouTube videos out there that show the relative size of maps on games across the spectrum of games. And, they'll show a map from one game, and then the next one's twice as big as that. And the next one's 4 times as big as that. And it just keeps going to the point where it's just like, I forget what the biggest one was, but it was just like
huge.
Yeah. Like you'll never, ever reach the end of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think you got to know what it is that you're searching for. So
yeah, it's the exploring part of it. I think that's fun, and seeing something that you hadn't seen before.
Well, no, what I mean is in your video game experience, let's say I'm going to plop down and it's like I'm looking at the clock and I got some other shit to do later, and it's like, do I got 15 minutes to spare for some quick video game stuff, or do I got, an hour and 15, or 2 hours? Or maybe it's like I got some shit I want to listen to on YouTube on the side. I can't really be playing a story-rich game, or whatever, because I can't be also listening to Netflix on the side. Sometimes there's a game that there's something that I want to play and I want to grind on that doesn't require any audio, and I can just turn the in-game audio all the way down, and then I can listen to the podcast or whatever while I play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes open world games are better for that sort of shit.
Agreed. Yeah, like the in GTA 5, there's a whole menagerie of radio stations that you can listen to. I think there's probably 20 different radio stations, and to me, white male, almost 50 years old, there's 2 stations that I can listen to out of the 20.
Yeah.
One's a country station and one's a rock station. and once you've heard each station that has about 15 songs on it, it just becomes monotonous over and over again, it seems like. So I'll turn the music down on that, and then I'll just put on my iPad or something and just play music in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of listening to their canned music.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, GTA, listening to the radio station has always been a big part of it, has always been the commercials,
Right.
The DJs that talk.
Yeah, you miss out on that for sure. And then they've had so many updates with the damn thing. I don't know why they haven't been able to update the music on it. It seems like that would be something simple. I mean, even if they had to sell it, if it was $1.99, add-on or something for new music. I mean, people pay that.
Yeah,
I would think.
I believe people would. Yeah, I don't know licensing. I don't know how any of that shit works.
No, I don't either. And it's funny because even going back to like the second GTA Vice City, there are artists on that have flowed over into the other 2 games. It's like, why does Stevie Nicks have songs on all 3 of these games? Whoever represents her must have said, okay, this is a way we can make some royalties or something. I don't know how all that works, but it's just odd that some of those artists kind of flow over from one game into the next one.
Yeah. Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks, Phoenix native.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she grew up in Phoenix. Her dad owned the big outdoor music venue way back in the day. It seat over 100,000 people, and I'd never seen. All the years I lived there, I never ran into her, or ever saw her, but I always knew that she was from there and that she had ties there. So I think I may have gone to grade school with like maybe her niece or something, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Or that's what she claimed. Well, I don't know that she ever proved it, but the word was that she was Stevie Nicks' niece or some shit. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Claim to fame.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, well, what do you think, man?
Well, I think we've missed one important part of the podcast, and that's you wanted to talk. I was hoping you'd still want to share a little bit of your scary experiences you said that you had when you were younger.
Oh, my ghost stories?
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have time to do that?
Yeah, I got about 30 minutes. So yeah.
Okay. Well, lay it on me.
So I'll ask you right off the bat. Have you just ever had an experience to where this doesn't logically make sense? I can't explain how this is happening. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Type of deal.
No, unfortunately not. I don't
Never.
think I've ever. Not
even
I don't
once.
think so. What do you mean?
Like, have you ever seen a UFO?
Well, yeah, I've seen plenty of UFOs.
Okay. Like, to what degree? I mean, how close?
For
how long?
A light in the sky that I can't explain? Yeah, I've seen lights in the sky that I can't explain, but I don't know everything, so...
Right.
I mean, my conclusion to jump to wouldn't immediately be there's little green men in spaceships that are floating around, I mean, it's like, maybe it's a comet or maybe it's a satellite I'm seeing, because you can see satellites from the...
Oh yeah, I've seen them. I've seen a bunch of them. Sure.
Yeah, or even the space station. We saw the space station.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen the space shuttle and the space station too.
Yeah, so the space station is like It's kind of faint. I guess it depends on where the sun's at and if it's like reflecting a little bit or whatever. But it travels across seems like it travels across the sky fucking fast.
Yep.
Like it was going across the sky super quick, and my wife pointed it out. And we both were looking at it. I was like, what the fuck is that, man? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then she looked it up, and that's the space station. I'm like, holy shit.
But, like, driving, like, at night or anything, you've never seen, like, anything on the side of the road and it, like, run off and, like, you didn't know what it was or didn't look like a coyote or never seen anything like that?
No,
I'm
man,
not saying, like, Bigfoot or a werewolf or anything like that. I mean...
But I love those ideas. I think to me those things are very scary. Like having some sort of creature that sort of maybe looks like a deer or sort of kind of maybe looks like a dog, but its proportions are fucked up. Like it can't. There's like it looked almost like a deer, right? Like you would think a deer would look like, but there's no way it was 9 foot tall. You know,
right.
If you accounted for the ditch that it was in, there's no way it could have been leaning out from the trees. There's some shit. To me, that shit's very scary. That's creepy as fuck, man.
Yeah. So I was coming up. I was living in Flagstaff, northern Arizona at the time, and I had a couple friends who played in a band, and they were playing down in Sedona, which is about a 30-minute drive south. And there's a couple ways that you can get there. One's just the regular highway, and it's pretty straight. The other way is called Oak Creek Canyon. And it's literally a canyon that you drive down through. It's a little bit quicker from where I was. And so I took that down there and then went and saw him play. And I think I was driving home. I was coming back up out of the canyon. Would have been midnight, 1 a.m.-ish, 1:30 at the latest. And I got this. I was driving my car, and it was dark. There weren't any other cars on the road. It's pretty isolated area anyway. I mean, there's traffic there, but this time of night, no traffic, and super dark, no moon, no nothing. And I'm coming up out of the canyon, and I'm just getting ready to crest the hill, and I get this chill up my fucking spine. I'm like, what the hell? And as soon as I crest over the hill, I remembered, I'd done this before. I'd seen a bunch of elk like literally standing in the road. So I always kind of slowed up when I come up to the crest of the canyon and off on up into the woods. And so I do it the same way this time. There's no elk there, but there's a fucking it looked like a coyote, but it was standing on its back legs, and I don't know if my lights just hit it fucking right, but its eyes were like glowing and shit. And I got this chill as I fucking sped past it. And I don't know what the fuck it was. Was it a coyote on all fours that was like 7 feet tall? I don't know.
Oh, man.
And that's real. I mean, that fucking really happened to me.
Yeah. Yep.
And I wasn't drunk. I wasn't doing any drugs. I mean, I was tired, but I was sober. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just my mind playing a trick on me, but why would I get that chill right before too? You know? So that was odd. That was sketchy and scary. And I never saw anything like that ever since. But that was creepy.
Chupacabra.
Could have been, I guess. I mean, there's lots of forest and wood and shit there. I mean, people think Arizona is just cactus and stuff, but the whole northern side of the state's all fucking pine trees.
Yeah. When you say Arizona, the thing that I think of is hard pan, dried up clay rocks everywhere. So what are they? What are they? Saguaro.
There's a lot. Yeah, saguaro. There's a lot of that there as well, but that's mostly in the southern half of the state.
Yeah,
but actually, where I was cresting up, that's where the pine trees start. So, it was odd,
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you and try to like say, well,
no, tell me what else it could have been. I'm all ears.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's a lot of things that play into the story that give you the emotions that you got, and I think all those things are totally valid. Like that's the way your body's supposed to make you feel when you think you've come into a situation that is dangerous, the fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
Something that you can't expect. You don't know what it is, so therefore you can't predict how things are going to turn out. You probably want to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
I mean, that's the reason why your brain sends you the chemicals through your nervous system saying, hey, this situation you're in is not okay, and you need to get on red alert. And
the only scenario that I've kind of, it's not the exact same feeling, but it's an also I don't know. I didn't try and make it happen, but have you ever felt like you're in slow motion before, like in a car accident or in a kind of like a life-changing experience where it felt like it was in slow motion?
Yeah, adrenaline does that to you. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what this feeling was, but not exactly the same.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe that had something to do with the way my eyes were seeing shit. Maybe it was just a coyote. I don't know, but man, it didn't look like just a coyote.
Yeah, but maybe it wasn't just a coyote. Maybe it was a deer. Is there a chance that it was kind of a deer?
Oh, it could have been a mule deer. It could have been an elk. It could have been a pronghorn. I mean, there's all that shit's up there.
Yeah. So also, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say maybe what you saw, wasn't some sort of supernatural event, but it was just a real grounded. But I don't want to be like that because, what you say you experienced was profound and it struck you,
Right.
And I'm not trying to, I don't win anything by convincing you that it was all, there's a scientific reason for everything or whatever. Yeah. But one thing that pops in my mind is maybe if I saw something similar to that, because what I envision is something taller than it probably should be, and is a mammal with a face, and it's looking at me in a dark area, and I can't see much of anything but it for only a split second, right?
Right. Yeah, my light shined on it for like a half a second.
And it's there it's there just for me to be scared of it.
Right.
One of the things that comes to my mind is if I was in that same situation, is there a chance that this could have been a deer at nighttime that's minding its own business that doesn't want to get struck by a car, if it's that smart not to jump out in front of the car, but it was standing on the side, maybe munching on some grass, and the car spooks it and it stands up on its back legs because deer, when they go into offensive mode, they will get up on their back legs and they will kick with their front and they will kick they've attacked humans that way.
Right.
And they'll knock you out.
Yeah, I see that, but that doesn't explain to me why it had a coyote's face.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's what my mind wanted to see. I don't know. But it was odd. And I spent lots of nights out in the woods and stuff, camping, and I mean remote places. I go camping. I'd never go to a campsite, where there's a bathroom or run or drinkable water and shit like that. I go out by a stream or something and drink water from there, but never like an organized campsite.
Yeah.
And in both in the desert and in the woods, and I've never kind of ever had any kind of thing kind of weird happen to me, even out there where it should, where it would take me an hour to get anywhere to say something to anybody.
Yeah. Out there where it'd be prime opportunity for the werewolf thing to get you.
Right. Yeah. I've never had any kind of experience camping like that. I think I've heard bears and stuff around the camp before, but I got friends that spend most of their fucking lives out in the woods and stuff, and none of them really have any real stories about seeing kind of any crazy shit like that, other than the ones that are trying to get clicks on YouTube,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the human imagination, they can dream up something and sound convincing enough to reel in those people that want to hear some horror stories or scary story or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Kind of a funny side story. A buddy and I, we worked at a golf course in Flagstaff, and we knew pretty much all the people that lived in there. It's probably, I don't know, 500 or so people lived in the community, and we were just kind of workers there. And one of the guys that we knew was a lawyer, and he was kind of like the the lawyer on the back of the phone book, the one you don't want to have to call, but sometimes you have to call. Like the Better Call Saul type of guy.
Oh yeah.
And a nice guy, younger guy, and but he was a hunter too, and he had some trail cams out there, kind of beyond the property, and my buddy knew where they were, so I think he was like scouting for turkey or something maybe at the time, and so we decided let's go down there, find his camera, or one of them, and pull the card out and Photoshop Bigfoot into it. So, and I back then I was pretty good at Photoshop. I'm not to toot my own horn, but man, I made it look like it was fucking real. And then, believe it or not, I took the Bigfoot from the Jack Links website and changed it around a little bit, and it looked fucking perfect. It made it kind of foggy and misty and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so snuck it back, put it back in there, and this was early 2000s, mid 2000s. So Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all that stuff really wasn't a big deal at this point. So his deal was he'd go on all these hunter message boards, and he started posting pictures of the Bigfoot that he saw on his deal. And he was, I think, just getting ready to go to the local news when we had to stop the whole thing. It's like, dude, no, we put a we pulled your card, man. Sorry. He was so fucking deflated, man. He thought for sure he had this golden ticket, where he was going to be on TMZ and shit, it's like, yeah, sorry. So a lot of times when I hear about these crypto stories and stuff like that, it's just like kind of a reason. There's always a plausible or reasonable idea for maybe what it really is in lieu of what you think you see,
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
So, I mean, maybe my deal was some couple kids on the side of the road in a fucking costume. I don't know. Could have been that.
Yeah, but
that's plausible.
Yeah, it's plausible. And I'm not saying that, obviously my stance isn't, that must have been what it had to have been. But what is important is that it gave you the chills, like it gave you, it impacted you, it freaked you the fuck out.
Yeah.
And that is the feeling that everybody that watches horror movies or plays horror video games, that's what they're chasing. Mm-hmm. They want that adrenaline dump, that fight or flight spike, like that. And
fucking it's hard to achieve, isn't it?
It's, I think as we get older, it becomes very, very difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
So when things like that happen in real life, if it's good enough and it tricks your eye and tricks your brain, I think it's easier to happen in real life than it is.
Oh, for sure.
Experience.
Because it's real life. I mean, shit like that is just not supposed to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in maybe middle school or grade school, one of our fun things to do was we'd sleep over at each other's houses or whatever, friends and whatnot, and we'd make a dummy. And we'd stuff, newspaper into blue jeans and put shoes on it, and a shirt, and a fake head, and put it in the road. And watch people swerve out of the way.
Damn.
Get out of the car and then go back and look at it and see it's just a dummy and start cussing at the air. I know somebody's out here.
No, man. That's dangerous. You can cause people to have wrecks and shit.
I know that now.
Yeah. But, thank goodness that maybe didn't happen.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I mean, that could have been a couple kids playing a trick. But, dude, there wasn't anything around there. They would have had to have driven 25 miles south, parked way out on the side of the road, hoping to see somebody coming up at 1:30 in the morning. So, at the right time. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, because, hey, there's people that drive around all the time. I mean, chances are if if you're that bored, you wanted something for a film too, you probably yeah, sure, for sure. I've got I know you said that you've got a very limited amount of time left.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately.
You gotta bounce, huh?
I do.
Oh.
We can continue it on next time for sure.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to tell my personal story
Oh
of an
yeah.
animal when I was driving my truck. So I used to work second shift, and I got off at midnight or 2 a.m., depending on if I was working overtime. And I was driving home, listening to the radio, beep-bopping along. It's a 30-minute drive to and from work. And it's like at 2 a.m. or so, it was like desolate in the area I was driving through. There's no street lights out there because, I live kind of out in the country a little bit. And then, so I'm just sitting there just driving along. Both my headlights work. No problem. Cresting some hills, going 55, 65 miles an hour along Route 66.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I see a flash of white in my driver's side window, and immediately a thump into my door.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a flash of white in my driver's side glass, and then a thump into the door. Something hit my truck, struck my truck. And, I keep going, and I was like, fuck, man, what was that? That was crazy. And then I roll down the window and scream into the night, you fucking kids, goddamn it, son of a bitch, get off my lawn sort of shit.
Yeah.
Because I thought it had to have been a soccer ball.
Yeah.
The only thing it could have been was kids in the night on the side of the road, and they just threw a soccer ball at my truck. So I had enough time to crest the next hill, and I decided I'm going to actually look at my truck.
Take a peek, sure.
Yeah, so I stopped in the middle of the road, turned my hazards on, and just jumped out real quick and turned my flashlight on and looked at the side of my truck. And there wasn't a dent there, but there was 4 or 5 scratches in through the paint all the way down the side of my door.
No fur?
No fur. Scratches, though, in the paint.
Yeah.
Like Wolverine had come by and scratched the paint a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I fucking jumped in my truck and spun back around and drove back to where it happened.
Yeah.
And there was an owl just chilling in the road.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I reached down and picked the owl up, and it seemed dead to me, and I threw it in the back of my truck. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, I can't believe this owl just hit my truck, because that's obviously what happened, right? Yeah. I drove all the way home because I have a dead owl now, and I get to, show my wife or whatever in the morning that an owl hit my truck. So I get back to my house 10 minutes later, and I open up the back and check on the owl, and the owl's alive, just perched. Ooh. Yeah, just perched in the back end, just chilling there, like recuperating.
Dazed like a motherfucker.
Yeah, the owl had knocked itself out, like running into my truck.
Wow.
Yeah, so apparently I guess what had happened was that it got spooked. Maybe it was chasing something. It was hunting, and it swooped down and tried to attack my truck in the nighttime.
Yeah, that's a bump for sure.
Yeah, it lost that battle.
Yeah, did it end up flying away, or?
Yeah, eventually it did fly away. I didn't reach down and touch it again after it got up, but it was. No. I think it clawed the shit out of me. And then, so its talons is what made the scratch marks down the side of the truck.
No shit, that's crazy. I knew of a guy who hit one, a great horned owl, and that's one of the bigger desert owls, and they're probably like the size of like a turkey. I mean, they're good size. Yeah.
Fucking big.
This one hit his grill on his pickup truck, and it was like a 71 Chevy long bed, and just fucking demolished his whole grill.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the first time I asked him, like, dude, what happened to your grill? He's like, oh, yeah, I hit an owl. Oh, fuck. That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
A lot of surface area.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, they're heavy. They're not little birds. It'd be like a goose or something hitting you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, even though they're lightweight, they're still at 55 miles an hour. They'll do a lot of damage.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but needless to say, I wasn't scared. Like there wasn't a time when that owl hit my truck, that I was like afraid that something was going to jump out. And
your immediate reaction was, I'm pissed off. Somebody threw something at my fucking car.
Yeah, and then whenever I realized very quickly that a soccer ball didn't scratch my truck, I was like, oh, something else happened. Well, I'm going to go back and find out.
Right.
And then, I solved the mystery. The mystery of the owl, the truck-eating owl.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, man. Well, we will continue it again for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna depart here, but I want to say real quick, my favorite scary movie is The Ring. Before I forget, the movie The Ring. Have you ever watched The Ring?
Still have not seen it. No.
Dude, that movie is so good. It's the
All
best scary movie in the world.
Okay. I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah, trust me, it's that good.
And then, when did it come out?
It came out in like 1997. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
2000 maybe. Yeah.
The Ring, 2002, American supernatural horror film.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, The Ring. It is so good, dude. It is so good. And can't get into it, obviously. We got to disembark from this journey.
Yeah, but we'll plan it again for sure.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Good Halloween session, good Halloween podcast. Oh, real quick, too. Almost every Halloween, I watch The Crow, because The Crow is a Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Happens around... You've watched The Crow, right?
I have. It's good.
Yeah, that movie's so damn good, dude.
Yep. It's too bad they couldn't have continued that.
Yeah, because all the rest of the Crow movies came afterwards were really, really fucking dog shit.
I never watched any of the other ones.
They were fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Really bad. Just like most of the Disney shit that's coming out these days.
Oh, okay. There's also a Ring from 1998, it looks like.
Well, damn, I don't know. Which one? The one with Naomi Watts is the one I'm talking of.
That's one.
Starring.
Naomi Watts, 2002. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the one, Naomi Watts.
Brian Cox.
Yes, Brian Cox. Absolute phenomenal actor.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yep.
He was Daphne's dad on Frasier, right?
I didn't really watch too much Frasier.
Really good show. Really good show. Yeah, it's very underrated for comedy.
Yeah, I've watched a few episodes. They were all enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, I always just like the interaction between the brothers and the old man. It's funny.
Yeah.
So, all right, dude. Good session. We'll definitely do it again.
SunDevilDave, appreciate you being on. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Have a great one.
All right. See ya.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was SunDevilDave, ladies and gentlemen, doing a Halloween flavored podcast this go around. Hopefully we tickled all of your Halloween talk, sort of whatever. I don't know. If you like the sort of shit, give me a like. If you dislike it, give me a dislike. Subscribe for future Protodead content. Leave a comment down below and tell me what is your favorite Halloween movie or your favorite Halloween experience that you like to share with your friends and loved ones. And I'll hit you back in the comments. Share this video with a buddy. It helps me out a whole lot. And until the next time, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.